Now, it's just coming up to 7:45 and it's Black History Month. And in a series of films, Good Morning Britain is celebrating history makers. And this week we meet Pamela. Now, she was inspired by her own son, Walter, who is autistic. Pamela Acuely set out to create a range of children's stories aimed at giving neurodiverse children better access to books.
And with the help of augmented reality and support from Hollywood friends, the mum of three, all three boys, wants all kids to fall in love with reading. We're going to speak to Pamela in just a moment. First, though, let's hear some of the people she's helped.
As a mum of two young children, I know just how challenging it can be to keep them engaged when it comes to reading. But this week's History Maker has the answer on how to keep the pages turning. How's this book changed reading time for you and Manny?
Well, it makes reading with Manny really easy because he can see the pictures move. He also gets to see himself in text.
What was reading time like before these books came along?
Well, I could never find a book with a neurodivergent child as the main character and then a black male neurodivergent child as the main character. So it's actually transformed things for us. My son is able to know that it's okay to be himself 100%.
I like it when Buster left his ear defenders at home and then he was brave of the hand dryer.
My eldest son, Walter, is autistic. He's always loved books.
But please don't shout.
But we would really struggle to find any books where he could see himself in the pages of the books. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to create the things that I wish existed. So I created Just Like Me books to really champion and explore diversity, inclusiveness, kindness and acceptance.
These stories have been made in the spirit of kindness and inclusivity. The integration of AR makes them truly interactive and unique, and I couldn't be a big fan. So if you're not already familiar with Just Like Me picture books or Pam's work, please check it out.
You presented Pamela with a really important business award. What was it about her creations that really stood out for you?
For me, it was definitely the technology. Seeing the way that she's used augmented reality to enhance the book.
Let's turn the next page.
I would say to Pamela, keep driving and doing what you're doing. I think the fact that Pamela's been able to create this book to be a representation of the community. Also, she's done this by herself. She's a solo founder. I think it screams volumes in terms of showing you can do it and breaking the barriers. So I absolutely love the book, having it to be able to read to my son, and I think other households do as well.
She's created something that really engages Freddie, and as a non-verbal child, to get him to understand, to turn the pages and to engage that much with me, it really means everything, it really does.
Now boys, do we all think that your mum's amazing?
Yeah!
Resounding chorus of approval from the boys. Pamela's with us now. Good morning to you, Pamela.
Good morning.
Firstly, congratulations on this book.
Thank you so
I mean, it's an
much.
extraordinary thing to have done, to find a way to tap in, as we heard one of the mums there saying, with a son who's non-verbal, to be able to engage in something that is sort of so important to children growing up. It's such an important skill to learn to read and to enjoy books as well.
Absolutely.
I mean, what made you think this was the right way to go to try and help your son and end up where we are now with this wonderful book?
Yeah, I mean, as a black woman, growing up, I never saw myself represented in books, in the media, and I honestly thought by the time I had my own children, I could go into any bookshop, go online and find a book where they saw themselves in the pages of books. So it was a really kind of eye-opening moment when my son had his diagnosis and we realised that, you know, history was starting to repeat itself again, and I couldn't find any children of, you know, mixed heritage or who were also neurodivergent. And I'm such a strong believer in being the things, you know, creating the things that you wish existed. So I thought, you know what, I have to be that, you know, that beacon of change, so to speak, and create a book where everybody sees themselves in the book.
So for those who don't have youngsters who come into that neurodiverse category, what makes the book, what makes the needs of a book for of a young child in that way different from the needs of any child that you're trying to engage in reading?
I think we've got, you know, similarities and differences. If you think back to when you were younger, the books that, you know, evoked that sense of curiosity and excitement, you know, neurodivergent children want that as well, but they also need, you know, resources that help them understand the text. So augmented reality for us was literally enable them to see what they are reading in a way that's, you know, digestible and fun as well, because books should be fun, learning should be fun.
Absolutely. So you've come up with this extraordinary... Well, tell us, you've got your gadgets there.
Yeah, yeah.
Tell us how it works, or show us how it works even.
So it's a really clever piece of technology, and basically it's just overlaying what is on the pages. So as we go through, this story is about a little child who has got ear defenders, but one day he loses them and he has to find a different way of coping with all the noises around him.
Ear defenders and that sort of background and sharp noises is something that's very challenging for youngsters.
Absolutely.
With neurodivergency.
But also it encourages empathy and understanding, and it allows readers to immerse themselves into the story.
So just to be clear, you've got your book there, which is what you might call a normal book, which is the flat screen, and then when you put your iPad over it, perhaps you could just show that for us so people could really see.
Yeah.
There you go. That's...
Which is, have you got a favourite? Has your son got a favourite page?
Yes, he does like the tap one.
Where's the tap one? Let's see the tap one.
And it also encourages children to wash their hands. They have to go to the toilet.
If you hold that still there, so we can see that the tap is, and the water's coming out of the tap.
Yeah.
Wow.
But, of course, if you're looking at the page...
And then if you took the iPad away, let's have a look at just the page. Oh,
can you see it now?
Never mind.
Want to see it with that? There you go.
Trying to capture the image for us. So that's the ordinary page, and then put your iPad over the top, please, if that's OK.
So you can see the movement in the picture, and the water's coming out of the book as well, which is even more exciting.
Very exciting, flowing out into the world.
When you first put this in front... I mean, you know, I can't imagine what that moment must have been like when you can sort of see his curiosity and his excitement come to life like that.
Yeah.
It must have been magical.
It was a beautiful moment. I actually feel quite emotional every time I tell the story, because not only did he see himself represented in the book, but then he started to understand the story. And it's such a great way of fusing technology, the real worlds and the virtual worlds together to, you know, have that really immersive experience where all children can feel like they're the hero of their own story.
And you're good friends with, well, an actor from Hollywood who's also got very involved with this as well, Will Poulter.
Yes.
I mean, how did that come about? Is it just happen to be someone you know?
No, I mean, it's the magic of social media. I slid into his DMs, I'll be honest with you. That's how it happened. I told him what I was creating, the reason why, and he was absolutely such a huge supporter to this day, and he really champions the idea of more inclusivity in children's books.
Fascinating. And is that because he has had challenges himself, or because he just gets how important it is?
Yeah, I mean, Will, he has dyspraxia. He also, you know, was bullied at school growing up, so he understands how, you know, we hear these phrases, books can be like windows and mirrors. You know, a window in the sense of, you know, it gives you an insight to someone else's life, and mirrors that it reflects your own life. So I think he understands from a very personal perspective how powerful books can be in terms of learning about other people's lives.
So where next? Because I've got a sense that you're not stopping here.
No. We just started. We're just warming up. Absolutely. We've had such an incredible response to the book through schools, and also just to highlight, it's not just for neurodiverse children, it's for all children. So now we're working with publishers to create apps for their books to bring their stories to life as well.
Oh, Pamela, it's absolutely brilliant.
Fascinating, yeah.
Really, really wonderful to see you this morning. Thank you for coming in and being part of our History Makers, our Black History Makers.
Thank you
I think,
for having me.
the potential for this is so exciting, isn't it?
Huge.
It really, really is.
Congratulations.
Thank
Thanks
you
so much indeed.